Chicagoland's era has come and gone, but as with so many other racetracks that have seen racing move away, we'll always be able to go racing here on iRacing. The virtual Chicagoland Speedway is frozen in time on iRacing in its prime and is a bunch of fun no matter the car you bring here. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Joliet, Illinois. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV with Zach Burtis alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Tonight's coverage from Chicagoland is brought to you by the Buttkicker, by Ascendance Trucking, Ideally, Sundance Pizza, and by Whiplash Simcams. Ready to go racing in Chicagoland, Zach. We have got 165 laps ahead for these drivers. That is no easy feat, and as the graphics freeze up on us here for a moment, so I promise they should come back in a moment. Well, Zach, we can talk about the racetrack anyway. Chicagoland, a 1.5 mile intermediate speedway that has come and gone recently in the NASCAR world, is still here for us to enjoy on iRacing. It's old, it's worn out, it's bumpy, and it's a lot of fun to drive.
That it is. Chicagoland seemed to be falling into disarray with the fans, but since it's gone, I think everyone says you don't know what you have until you lose it. And Chicago has definitely become one of those tracks. Now we have it replaced with the Chicago Street Course, and I can personally say, while I enjoy just taking a leisurely drive here at Chicagoland Speedway, I think it still hosts some sort of racing, doesn't it? It become like Kentucky Speedway has with a bit of an Amazon facility.
Well, Kentucky Speedway has become a parking lot for several different uses, but Chicagoland Speedway does see some racing in the tri-oval grass area, mostly in the form of motocross. I think that's about it happening now at Chicagoland Speedway. There is, Route 66, I think, not so far away, the racetrack that is, which does see some drag racing. But as for Chicagoland Speedway itself, it's basically down to just the events, the motocross events there on the grass. And while graphics restart here, Zach, this is a special place to go racing in some form. Of course, we saw some of NASCAR's best moments of the last 6-7 years right here at Chicagoland Speedway before we no longer went here. We only stopped going to Chicagoland because of the COVID pandemic. It kind of shifted us away, and of course, as you mentioned, brought along the Chicago Street Course. But on iRacing, we're going to have multi-groove racing, and that's difficult to find sometimes. That multi-groove racing that so many long for. These guys will be able to use the top, the bottom, and everywhere in between. In fact, when I did testing here, I found the best line in this car at this track might actually be in the middle of the racetrack, which is not always the case.
Not usually the case. Usually when you come to an oval racetrack, especially a tri-oval, the main thing is to go from outside wall, inside, hit the apex, come right back up to the outside wall. It's usually the normal line. A lot of tracks, like we saw in the Icon Cup Series back on Sunday, you can run the middle to the high line. That can be the fastest line on the racetrack, especially when you're drafting. Other tracks may specifically just be the high line, kind of like Darlington. Running up close to the wall is probably the best place you can run with those cars. But Chicago, like you said, is different. You can run the middle line and it pretty much be the fastest. You're able to roll the outside and make a lot of good passes, but then you're also able to use it to make inside passes with drivers rolling the high side. It's a multi-groove racetrack. Everybody loves multi-groove racing. That's the best thing about racetracks.
As we enter the iRacing.com sim here, we're still waiting on graphics to reload on us. A technical difficulty right as we were getting started this evening is never what you want to have, but I can verbally go through the standings for you as we enter race number 11 of 18 this season. Mason Houseman on top after his 5th win, 2nd in a row, and now draws even at 1 out of 2 races this season. Mason Houseman's got a victory lane. 1 out of 2, that's right. There's a 50% chance that this guy wins a race in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series this season. Adam Buzzio sits in 2nd. Johnny Wood sits in 3rd. Stephen Borbell and Carl Pooler round out your top 5. Richard Wolsifer sits in the 6th position. Then Dustin Stallings, Jared Hughes, Brendan Maddox, and Jamie Plord. And Zach, That's already a pretty solid set of 10 drivers ready to go for the chase. But then you have that cut line battle. Evan Buttkicker not here this evening, it looks like, unless he's loaded in since graphics took it up.
I have not seen Evan Buttkicker actually make his way onto the racetrack. We've had Richard Smith have a few problems, and he is still trying to get that car out on the racetrack. We have a couple of other cars joining us so far. If I'm not mistaken, Evan's number is
81.
81. Well, then you're in luck. He is on his way. I don't think he'll have enough time to set a qualifying lap, unfortunately, as qualifying is, at the moment, underway.
There we go. Standings on screen for you now that graphics have reloaded for us. Good to see, again, Evan Buttkicker on his way in this cut line battle. Very important that he makes this race and goes toe-to-toe with Jamie Plord. Richard Smith, also very important. He's second in line outside the cut line to try and work his way into the chase. So two very important drivers to have. Matthew Erickson, I don't see the 20 car here this evening, so he's going to drop down. Dakota Bly is here in the 58 car. And then after that, William Maddox, Patrick Hernandez, these guys are just a little too far back right now, I think, to make it into the chase. And we can talk about qualifying here as Isaiah Sutherland goes to the top of the board. Qualifying obviously very important, and times are on the left side of your screen as we've got a minute and a half to go. This guy, Isaiah Sutherland, was very fast in practice as well, so no surprise that he's fast in qualifying as Richard Wolsifer comes across the stripe and sets a, let's see, a 31.218. I think that was his third lap anyway, so that one doesn't count. But Wolsifer quick, he is 5th. Dakota Bly is 12th. And it looks like that's going to be it as far as cars qualifying. Evan Buttkicker, Jason Bottoms, Richard Smith all staying in the pit lane.
Richard Smith still having a few of problems. He is still currently not even out of the garage with that car, but Dakota Bly, you see him coming down pit road. I think drivers might be using their qualifying time a little bit to their advantage by practicing where their box is going to be, maybe getting down to pit road speed on that last lap. I think that's a pretty good use of their time, especially since we only have 50 seconds left on the board. And there's Richard Wolsifer. He's shutting it down on the back straightaway. He is going to be starting from the 5th spot tonight. Pretty good qualifying effort. And I do want to say Isaiah Sutherland has impressed me. He has shown a lot of quick pace since we last saw him last week at Eldora. That was on the dirt. And now we see them on the 1.5 miles of Chicagoland. But next week, Andrew, you can take them to a short track. They're really going all out with the schedule. They're getting all forms of disciplines out of the way before we hit the chase.
Yeah, that we are. I mean, we had the road course back at Chicago. We have, I guess that was the only road course this season, actually, looking across the schedule. So it's really just a lot of ovals, that one road course, the street course, the dirt track at Eldora, and now some intermediates to get us through, the Roval. That'll be the other road course, Charlotte.
I was about to say, I see Charlotte on there twice. One of them's got to be the Roval.
Yes, with 60 laps, the distance it looks like it'll be for round 15. So we will be hitting one more road course this season, but to the chase, we got Chicagoland, Bristol, and California. 3 very diverse racetracks that'll be a lot of fun and put these drivers through the ringer in some cases. They're not easy tracks to get around. Chicagoland definitely has its difficulties. There's a lot of bumps here. Bristol next week, well, it's a short track. Need we say any more? And California with its bumps, very difficult to get around quickly. And the kind of pack racing mentality on a short run can get the best of some drivers. It'll be a lot of fun, though. We've seen some really good California racing here lately on Pit Stop TV, so I'm looking forward to that cut line race for round 13. Then it's Las Vegas, the Roval, Talladega, Martinsville, and Charlotte. The 5 races inside the chase this season. We'll go down trackside and take a look at our starting grid this evening. On pole, how about driver number 24? We talked about him already, and the impressive start that he has made to his career in the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. It's Isaiah Sutherland from pole position. Mason Houseman, 5-time winner this season, will start from 2nd. Starting 3rd, it's Patrick Hernandez in the 91 car. Adam Buzzio in his Kyle Larson lookalike paint scheme will start from 4th. Starting 5th will be Richard Wolsifer, Brendan Maddox from the 6th position. 7th and 8th, it'll be Johnny Wood Jr. and Jamie Plord. And to complete your top 10, how about Jared Hughes and Dustin Stallings?
Moving on through the rest of your field, Stefan Borbel in starting 11th spot. Dakota Bly, he'll be starting from the 12th spot tonight. That's row number 6 rolling off. Carl Pooler and Chad Bean, 13th and 14th on the night. Only 3 cars left. Actually, excuse me, 5 cars left. Eric Gezin is going to be starting 15th with William Maddox. The other Maddox here on tonight is in 16th. Richard Smith was not able to turn a qualifying lap. Neither was Evan Pinko. They'll be starting 17th and 18th. And then your final car on the night is going to be Jason Bottoms, the number 57, starting 19th. Andrew, these guys only get 1 warm-up lap to get these tires heated up. They're going to be rolling straight into the restart zone to take the green flag for 175 laps. I think it's messed up in the rate details just a little bit, just off by 10 laps.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Race info said 165. It is 175. Well, we'll adjust that. It'll be 95 laps then in stage 3. 175 laps then. Very interesting that that was that way. But we will roll with the punches. The 95 laps in stage number 3 is take a look at the Whiplash SimCam's race details. 80% fuel. That'll be a challenge for these drivers for sure. And we will go racing this time by out of turn number 4 to the start-finish line. Green flag is in the air at Chicagoland. Down the back straightaway for the first time, and Mason Houseman has got the race lead. Isaiah Sutherland on the inside. First time racing with these guys on pavement, and he's got some power. Contact between the top 2 out of turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, they're still side by side rolling down the front straightaway. Both of them onto the apron, really pinching each other. They're racing real hard with only 1 lap completed, lap 2 underway. You see a lot of cars starting to favor the top, and look at that. Isaiah Sutherland gets loose. A little bit of contact. Houseman in the wall. They are really going at it.
Side by side still for the race lead. And Sutherland has the advantage now through 3 and 4. I promise this is lap 2. Graphics are catching up. There we go. And Houseman's going to have the lead at the stripe.
Houseman turns the fastest lap of the race as well. They are really going after it. Houseman finally clears Isaiah Sutherland for the lead. 3 wide for the 4th spot right behind him. Super close to the wall. Buzzio almost tags that outside wall. Still 3 wide going into 3. Looks like they're going to separate a little bit. Wolsifer backs out through the middle. He's going to cross it up to the bottom, but it looks like they're going to try to get 3 wide again behind him. As the race for the lead still heats up, Hernandez is trying to find a way around Sutherland. And he goes purple.
Hernandez looks really good here on the short run. We'll see how he is on the long run as he powers by his Sutherland on the outside. Oh, and he gets the wall out of turn 2. A big shot to the concrete barrier. That might have been safer barrier, but regardless, that was a big hit. You don't want to take in this car this early in the race. Maybe late in a short run, you know, maybe late in the race, you want to get up there and use all you can of the racetrack, but this early, you want to stay very far away from that outside wall.
There was a lot more contact right behind. Buzzio ran right into the back of that number 91 and definitely lost a little bit of ground because Wolsifer was able to get to the top. He searched around on the bottom and found out that the top was going to be where he wanted to go to get around that Kyle Larson lookalike, but he's staring at the back of another Hendrick lookalike, and that is Hernandez still up on the top side. Johnny Wood Jr. on the inside. He had a strong run last weekend, or not last weekend, last week at Eldora, trying to find a way around on the low side. It looks like he's rolling with that through into an asphalt track. Gets his nose chopped a little bit by Sutherland. He's going to fall in line, hopefully right behind Hernandez. Maybe not.
Yeah, here comes Wolsifer on the outside. Buzzio there with him. So Johnny Wood Jr. on the bottom at Eldora, on the bottom now at Chicagoland. Wolsifer has got a run off of turn number 4, and that top side will be king all night long. I think the fastest single car line will be the middle, but in a battle, you always want the top here at Chicagoland. And here comes on the top side, Isaiah Sutherland, lap 7, firing to the outside of Mason Houseman. He's going to have a run down the back stretch and take the race lead away. This is that multi-groove racing we were talking about.
That it is. Not totally clear going into turn number 3. Still drawn alongside. Wolsifer and Johnny Wood Jr. side by side as well. They're very close together. Buzzio looking for a way around them, but the fight for the lead still.
Ooh.
Oh, contact!
Big contact. Houseman came up the racetrack and gave a shot there to the door of the 24. The 78 slides now into position number 2 officially. And third place, Wolsifer and Hernandez. Hernandez gets the wall after contact between the two. Wolsifer on the inside is going to have the dirty air. Clean air for the 91 up top. He's going to have a run.
And quick note for all the viewers watching here at Pit Stop TV, watching all this action unfold. I will let you know you only see 18 cars on track because the 19th car, Richard Smith, has had more technical difficulties. He has since taken that car off the racetrack. Actually, he never even made it to the racetrack. So he's currently having some few issues. Hopefully he can fight through it like he did at Indianapolis and maybe get out there, turn a few laps tonight. But we're coming up on lap number 10 with 9 laps about to be completed. Sutherland still leads the way, and it looks like Hernandez is trying to make another run at the outside. Gets his nose cut off and might draw alongside Houseman here on the front stretch.
Into turns 1 and 2, 3 wide for the third spot. Wolsifer in the middle. Houseman falling back from the race leader now. This is going to be a battle for second spot. Hernandez way up top, still just trying to find a way by up there. And Jamie Plord is going to join the fight. So the 38 car in the battle with Buttkicker at the cut line is now in this battle for second place. That is 6 cars deep behind the race leader. 2 rows of 3 wide as we cross the stripe to complete lap 10.
Drivers are really going after it for this win, and it's only 10 laps in, as looks like Buzzio's finally going to make his way through, and he's going to put that car up into second spot. Still side by side for third. Look at Buzzio now trying to find a way to the bottom, trying to draw alongside Sutherland, who runs all the way up to the top, coming off of turn number 4. 3 wide now for 5th. Back to 2, and now we're side by side once again for the race lead.
And Buzzio's got it into turn 1. That is a big move for the 5 car. He powers on the bottom side, but that bottom is going to relent through the corner, and the top side prevails. Again, the top will be where you want to be. It has the run off the corner, that longer radius, if you will, and Sutherland now covers it up, gives the dirty air to the inside lane, and stalls out the 5 car of Buzzio. The top side is where you want to be in a straight-up fight.
Yeah, and look at Johnny Wood Jr. He's taking advantage of that. He just moved himself back up into the 5th spot. He tapped the wall a little bit on the outside, but he was still able to make it work. Now he's looking at the back bumper once again to Hernandez, who comes way down. And look at Houseman. He got the apron.
Wolsifer got free, got up into the 75, now falls back to the 38 car of Plord. Plord will try to go by for the 6th position. Up front, our top 2 starting to get close. Sutherland has gone to the bottom, Buzzio with him. Hernandez will have a run this time off of turn number 4. And side by side for 4th we go with Wood and Houseman.
3 and 4 seems to be the corner that everyone wants to hit the wall, because we saw Wolsifer and Johnny Wood Jr. tap it ever so slightly. They still keep it rolling. No problems with those cars at the moment. As we now look on board here with Sutherland from the rear cam. Hernandez poking out in front in that battle for second. But look at Buzzio. Look at how deep he throws it into the corner. Might be a little contact right there. Now Hernandez up top.
3 wide.
3 wide off of 4 for the race lead.
And Hernandez is going to win that fight to the stripe. Now second is 3 wide. You've got Sutherland in the middle, Johnny Wood Jr. way up top, and Buzzio down low. Sutherland's going to have to get out the gas, and Buzzio comes up the racetrack just into the 24 car. This is crazy. This is too much for me this early.
It's 15 laps in, Andrew. I mean, I know you said the middle is going to be the groove to go with, but it looks like everyone who gets stuck there is in the sucker hole like out of Super Speedway. Hernandez takes the lead. Johnny Wood Jr. was able to follow him right around the outside, take second place away, move Sutherland to 3rd, Houseman to 4th, Buzzio still in 5th, and then the fight outside the top 5, Ford, Wolsifer, Maddox, Stallings, and Hughes. They're all seeing what they can do as the playoff bubble is...
Buzzio got the wall hard there out of turn 2. Buzzio really got the fence big time in the 5 car. He hits the wall and falls back now to what? The 6th position, it looks like, on the racetrack. So the 5 headed the wrong direction.
That he is. He needs to make sure he doesn't keep going the wrong direction if he wants to continue to fight for this lead. Houseman now back up into the 4th spot. Side by side with Lord. Buzzio takes a look to the middle. He's going to rough him up, toss him up the racetrack a little bit. 3 wide coming off of turn number 2. Floored with the nose out in front, still side by side. Going into turn number 3. Give it to Buzzio into the corner, slides up like a slide job in front of Houseman and takes it all away.
All of this as Johnny Wood Jr. takes over the race lead. Hernandez falls to second, Sutherland in third. Buzzio takes over fourth after getting the wall. Houseman fifth, and Plord falls back to sixth. Now Plord is in that fight with Evan Patinko for the chase cutoff line, while Patinko is down in 11th position, needing to get up here and fight with Plord. Patinko's in the back end of the shot. He's got a few more spots to go if he wants to start crawling up on that 38 car in the points. In fact, Patinko that time goes down low behind the, the 57 car of Jason Bottoms.
Jason Bottoms started a little bit further down the running order, if I'm not mistaken. Bottoms started in
last.
The 18th spot. So he has worked himself up, and Patinko seems to be following suit, trying to see where he can put that car to find out where the best line is going to be for that car. Everyone has where they're comfortable to run. What might be the best line for another driver may not be the best line for you. It's side by side now for the top 10 spot of 10. Patinko on the outside, pulling the air around. That's going to force Bottoms to get out of the gas and give it to Patinko for P10 here as they come across the stripe. Now on the back bumper of Wolsifer and Stalling, seeing where he can go. Blocked in a little bit, but there's a hole through the middle. Let's see if he can make it work.
Watching Patinko here with Wolsifer now. Wolsifer has fallen all the way down to the back end of the top 10, and you notice the white and red spoiler. These drivers have a bit more they're racing for than just points and the race win. These guys are racing in the BRB bonus brawl. Essentially, a bit of a nod to the old Noble format where these drivers have paid a little bit of a fee to enter into an extra competition inside the season, kind of an extra tournament. They paid $5 to get in, and of the drivers that have paid to get into the bonus brawl, they are scored as they finish. So the first of those drivers, wherever they finish, will earn 10 points. Second of those drivers, wherever they finish, will earn 9 points. On down the line for the top 10 of those drivers that have entered into the bonus brawl. Whoever has the most points at the end of this race, the third race in the bonus brawl, will win the pot of $160 thereabouts. I think the total might have even gone up today. So right around $160 these drivers are going to earn in the BRB bonus brawl if they can be the top driver at the end of the day.
Brendan Maddox, the top of that, he has got 1 point over Jared Hughes. So he has to finish in front of Hughes, which at the moment he is by about 5-6 spots on the racetrack. So that would give that $160 pot to Maddox as they still fight in that fourth spot. Houseman and Buzzio trying to get separated now. You got to get single file at this point. As Buzzio hits the wall hard, Plord right behind him. They all still fall in line though. These drivers continue to hit the wall quite a bit and throwing it so hard into the corner there, Andrew.
And here's a run, as you can see, for the 78 car of Mason Houseman. A big run through turns 3 and 4, puts him alongside Buzzio for the fourth spot. Houseman even had it into the corner there. They let off the gas, and Buzzio soars on by. Buzzio able to use the top side, just dives into the corner, has a bit more speed, but off the corner you can see Houseman looks good again. Now, you mentioned Brendan Maddox, top driver so far in that BRB bonus brawl. He sits back here in the 7th position right now in car number 8. Watch for him today. Again, he comes in at the top of that bonus brawl at 17 points. We'll be watching to see maybe if he's able to continue that run and stay at the top and earn that pot.
All right, Andrew, we're 24 laps in. Make your bets and make them now. Who you got?
Oh, you're not going to find me betting. That's not going to happen today. We've seen too much amazing racing in the top 5 alone for me to make a bet, but Johnny Wood Jr. leads this race now over the 91 of Hernandez and the 24 of Sutherland. 4th spot, Buzzio, 5th is Houseman. I mean, Houseman would be the conventional pick with the 5 wins this season, but I don't know, Zach. Everybody else seems like they've got something for him today.
Heck, I'm going to take a stab and throw one for Johnny Wood Jr. His speed has been super impressive as the fight for second now heats up. Sutherland back to the inside of Hernandez, retaking that spot. Hernandez still rolling the top of Johnny Wood Jr. That's where all the runs seem to form, so that's where you want to be. And a big run now as they still draw alongside. Coming onto the front stretch at the line. Sutherland had the nose in front for second, but he's got to get clear if he wants to hang on. And just as I say that, crossover move. Hernandez to the bottom, still side by side for second.
We're going to keep watching these guys as they roar towards the end of stage 1 at the completion of lap number 40. Graphics are struggling this evening, to put it lightly. To break the fourth wall a little bit, because we are sim racers, and, well, sim racers have a clue of what's going on behind the scenes of the broadcast. I honestly don't know what's going on. I think we're capping on RAM this evening. We're trying to work on it behind the scenes, but graphics are freezing up on us tonight. We're going to work through it as best as we can. Side by side, though, for the third spot, we'll continue watching the race no matter what happens. Third right now, Hernandez and Buzzio. Buzzio, a big dive.
Big dive on Hernandez, but that's just going to allow that 91 to roll that top side. Fight for third still. Buzzio on the inside. Hernandez still holding tough on that outside line. He's really not giving up here, Andrew. Just continues to fight on that top line. Sutherland pulls away from those two competitors behind him, but Hernandez is not giving up that fight. That outside line is going to be beneficial long run when it comes to tire saving. I don't know about fuel saving, but we're rolling with it. That's how we roll on the racetrack sometimes. Try to find the line that works and stick with it. Maybe work it into your strategy. We'll see how it goes.
We may see a pit stop here in stage 1 under green as Maddox backs up to Plord there off the corner. Dustin Stallings in tow as well. Here comes that 81 car. So Evan Buttkicker now crawling up to the 38 of Plord. Needs to do so in the points as well, and that's what you're seeing. Buttkicker needs to pass that gray, orange, and blue 38 car to start earning points to that fight.
He does. He is getting boxed in right here. Nowhere to go. Still 3 wide. Super tight off of 2. Oh, my goodness. They are really
Maddox,
going after it.
What a catch. That was shades of Corey LaJoy on Monday.
Oh, my Lord.
So Buttkicker now moves up a couple of spots, goes on by Maddox and Stallings, and is able to pull up on Jamie Plord. This is for, I believe, the 7th position.
Needs to get in front of Jamie Plord. Get as much of a cushion to that playoff bubble as you possibly can, especially since some of your competition is no longer here. Richard Smith has not been able to get this car on the racetrack. So he is affected. Oh, as I say that, he is now getting that car in the garage, we'll say, and trying to get it off the pit lane and out onto the racetrack. He knows he's still in this playoff fight, and he's doing everything he can to stay in it. I commend that immensely. So, might have 19 cars on this racetrack sometime soon. But Buttkicker still trying to fight his way forward. We see fights going on. Buzzio now on the outside of Plord. Plord took a look to the inside, trying to move up, seeing what he can do here.
And there you see the side-by-side of Plord and Buzzio. That's for 5th. So Jamie Plord knows the point situation, knows Buttkicker needs to pass him, and is doing everything he can to get away from that 81 car while Wood continues to lead. Sutherland in 2nd. And look at where the 78 has fallen down to 4th place. I know that's not crazy, but considering he's got 5 wins this season, to see him not leading this race right now is a breath of fresh air, even as we've already only covered 2 races this season. It's good to see he's having to work for this, and while he may still have a leg up later in this race, he's got to earn it.
He does, and one thing I think we're starting to see now is we're 33 laps into this race, rolling up on the stage end, starting to see tire wear. Who saved their tires and who didn't. I think Johnny Wood Jr. did an absolutely fantastic job of saving his tires. Isaiah Sutherland did an amazing job as well, as did Hernandez. And Hausman has fallen more than a second off of the leader. Now he's fighting at the latter half, really trying to hang on to 4th place, that is.
Buzzio goes down right underneath the 78 car there through turns 1 and 2, and here comes the girl dad, number 0 of Dustin Stallings, moving up. And whoa, now Buzzio really goes underneath the 78 car. This for 4th position. Houseman goes up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes Stallings, who's saved his tires, it looks like, and is coming on late in this run. 4 wide across the start-finish line, and 4 wide into turn 1.
Oh my goodness, just when you thought this race couldn't get any better, still side by side, still 4 wide. They're really
Stallings, no! Stallings is going to hook around the 38 of Plord and the 78 of Houseman. I don't think Stallings got the memo that they were still 3 wide and he was on the bottom. He tried to push his way up the racetrack and just wrecked a couple of cars. Looks like Plord is going to be the worst of them all out of this. He's got no front bumper. That car is definitely torn up.
And we have received confirmation from the league admins that this will be the stage caution. So, your stage winner, Johnny Wood Jr., followed by Isaiah Sutherland, Patrick Hernandez, Brendan Maddox, Adam Buzzio, and Dustin Stallings will be P6. Evan Patinko will be P7. Stephen Borble, Carl Pooler, and Jared Hughes are all gonna earn stage points.
Take a look back at the replay here. And boy, I am blown away by the racing we were just seeing. We're gonna have to go back and look at it one more time. Well, we would. I'm going to be honest with you guys. ATVO is struggling tonight and is freezing up on me. It's to the point where I can't really broadcast this race. It's getting frustrating as a broadcaster to have your tools not work for you. We're just going to do this the old-fashioned way for a moment and go back a lap and watch it this way. So 4 wide into turn 1. There we go. 4 wide into turn 1. Watching it here. Now watch Stallings on the bottom side. That pink and black and white 0 car. He gets clear of the 3 wide for a second. Comes up the racetrack. I think he thinks that he's clear up to Plord. He just never was. And he just kept pushing up and up and up. And ends up creating this crash.
It's entirely possible. Spatial awareness is always key when it comes to racing 4 wide. So you've always got to be mindful of who's around you, what's going on. Make
Watch
sure
the slow-mo.
that spotter.
So in the slow-mo, he moves up and just keeps going up the racetrack and just keeps bullying up there. I think he got either bad information or didn't realize where he was in the stack up of cars there down the back stretch. And Borbell gets a lot of damage out of that. Houseman gets a lot of damage, but Jamie Plord, far and away the worst off after all of that, gets a lot of damage to that 38 car here to end stage number 1. We'll come into the pit lane and take service. The bumper goes straight back on the car as he gets a fast repair made. You don't want to have to use that, though, in stage 1. We'll dial up stage 1 winner. It'll be driver 75, Johnny Wood Jr. In just a moment. Do you see him in Discord? Because I don't see him in Discord.
Looking, I do not. So, our stage 1 winner not joining us on the night unless he is under a different name, in which case I would not know.
No, I don't see him tonight.
Do we know which team that Mr. Johnny Wood Jr. races for?
Well, I've got them all expanded, and I'm not seeing him.
Interesting. Well, maybe he's just trying to keep to his own devices tonight. Maybe he is kind of in that zone mode of where everything's kind of going good and he doesn't want to really get out of his headspace to, what's the word I'm looking for, to to upset that balance in a way. I can understand that as a driver. As you see the choose cone here on the front stretch, everybody, I mean, just about everybody was choosing on the top right there.
It's going to be good here on the short run. Now, want to circle back to the Whiplash SimCam's race details. Adam Buzzio admitted that he had put in the race info it would be 165 laps. This race will be 175 laps instead. So that small adjustment of 10 laps, it will make a big difference. Stage 3 is going to be much longer than either Stage 1 or Stage 2. Look at that, 175 laps. So the stages are 40, 40, and 95. That's a big difference for Stage 3.
That it is. You've got one stop really in no stops really in stages 1 and 2, and then more than likely
might be a one stop. It's going to be close.
That's what I'm saying. It might be a one stop. It may be a two stop. You'll have to try to figure it out. But as we roll on through into the Geico restart zone here in a moment, Sutherland on the bottom, control car being the 75. Buttkicker, look for him. He's moved up all the way into the 4th spot after the choose.
Working into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are racing again at Chicagoland. Down low, Evan Buttkicker inside on the restart, moves up a bunch of spots from the choose and is now racing for the 3rd position into turn 3. But here comes Sutherland, a big move to the inside of Johnny Wood Jr. for the race lead.
Side by side off of turn number 4. A couple of cars tapping the wall back there, but never mind. The fight out front, Sutherland, Wood, trying.
Ooh, they got real close.
To take that lead. They did. You would have thought they were side drafting there for a second. Johnny Wood Jr. still hanging tough on the outside line. Sutherland with the nose in front just by a couple thousandths. But give it back to Johnny Wood Jr. down the backstretch. Big sense by Sutherland.
Slide job.
Slide up.
He covers up the crossover beautifully, though. Just stays a little bit low of the wall and makes sure that the 75 can't cross him back over. That was pretty smart.
Pretty smart, but at the same time, doing too much. Somebody might not get very appreciative of it. As Johnny Wood Jr. now takes to the bottom line again. Hernandez up top. Big runs up top. He's going to try to take 2nd spot. That he will. Fully clear of Johnny Wood Jr. Now for 2nd. Going after Isaiah Sutherland. Brendan Maddox right behind. Buttkicker behind them. And Wolsifer looking at trying to go for 5th spot.
Buttkicker still in the top 5, but starting to slide back. Wolsifer, Chad Bean, Jared Hughes, Mason Hausman, Carl Pooler, all trying to move forward. Now, I want to confirm Mason Hausman did not take his fast repair in that crash, in that caution, as Chad Bean pounds the outside wall out of turn 2. And here comes Johnny Wood Jr. back for 2nd spot. But it's very important to confirm that the 78 car did not use a fast repair and may still have a little bit of damage hindering him as Hernandez just tags the wall off of turn 4.
Lots of these drivers have tagged the wall tonight. I'm surprised you don't see a lot more down pit road for some damage repair, but everybody made it down pit road already for 4 tires and fuel. And now Brendan Maddox has actually moved on through. He is up to 4th. Looking on getting 3rd from Hernandez. That 91 Jimmy Johnson look-alike from back in. That's a throwback to 2017.
Oh, right? Big crash! The 56 of Wolsifer in the wall hard. Chad Bean involved. Oh my gosh, what an impact.
Stallings with a late impact right there. Oh my goodness. William Maddox also involved.
I think Dakota Bly got a piece of it. The 56 of Wolsifer far and away got the worst of that crash. That was a really, really hard impact to the outside wall. We'll take a look back at this. This was right behind Evan Buttkicker. And I do mean right behind. Wow!
That's some heavy impacts for some drivers who have probably already used the fast repair tonight.
No, the only driver who had so far was Plord. So this is good stuff. Bean comes down and Wolsifer is there. Boom! What a hit. And Bean ends up collecting several drivers, including Jason Bottoms in his first start here with the series. Dustin Stallings there, William Maddox. Many drivers involved in this one on the front stretch. Let's go on board with William Maddox in the 33 car, just a little bit behind this. Give a shot there to Justin Bottoms, who got the wall, and Maddox got hit from behind.
Yeah, but that also means he doesn't have the most damage in the world. He should be relatively okay. Maybe needs a change set of tires there, but otherwise he should be rolling.
Watch it here. You see Maddox in the Piedmont colors. Ends up getting hit by Pooler. Pooler turning him might have saved him, but Pooler gets some big damage out of it. Just a really big crash here on the front stretch early in stage 2. Go on board with Carl Pooler. Oh, a squeeze between Jensen and the crashing Chad Bean. That was big. You ready for the onboard of the day?
Oh boy.
Richard Wolsifer. Oh, outside wall.
Nobody likes the right rear hook.
This one, at least we can tell, was not intentional. Chad Bean gets the wall, comes down the racetrack. I think was expecting Wolsifer to be lower, and just gets him. Stallings there came in late, as you said. Dakota Bly missed it all. He just got through late. And this gives these drivers an extra pitting opportunity here in stage 1, or stage 2 rather. A lot of drivers have already taken to pit lane, including Dakota Bly, Carl Pooler, Dustin Stallings. A lot of these drivers using their fast repair. This time I mean it, because Pooler, Stallings, they've used it. Jason Bottoms has used it. Let's see, Chad Bean has used it, and Richard Wolsifer, of course, has used it as he gets back on the racetrack down to the 18th position. 2 laps down, actually. 2 laps down now for driver 56.
Unfortunate for Wolsifer. He was doing really good, and now he's all the way towards the back of the pack. I hope his race gets turned around, because he definitely has some pace to go up there and get that win.
Well, while these guys run around under caution, want to give a big thank you to the partners that make these broadcasts possible. Of course, Whiplash SimCam is bringing you the sights and sounds of every Pit Stop TV broadcast, ATVO with the graphics, CC's Beezus with the good smells, and Pit Stop TV HQ, and Cody Williams Designs helping us look good and go fast on the racetrack, revving up our style here at Pit Stop TV. Zach, with 50 laps complete this time by out of 175, we've still got a long ways to go. This is a pretty long race. We've seen a lot, though, and look at that. The top 3 cars all choose the top side, so we're seeing even more that I think is somewhat surprising, at the same time somewhat anticipated.
Sure, it's lap 50 with the way they're racing, Andrew. I thought it was lap 170. Not gonna. What else? What else can I say? The intensity has heated up from the second the green flag dropped, so I think these drivers still have a lot left in them. But at the same time, they got to remember it's still a little early.
It is, and you know, both of the crashes we saw were just circumstances and racing deals. I don't think anybody did anything too terribly wrong. I think Stallings just didn't quite realize where he was in that 3-4 wide situation, and Chad Bean, I think, just thought Wolsifer would be lower on the racetrack. Nothing that crazy out of those 2 incidents, but they do slow us down just a little bit here in stage 2. We'll go back green, though, on the inside of 30 laps to go in this stage. And Isaiah Sutherland is going to lead us back to the green. Brendan Maddox on the inside of row 1, into the Geico restart zone and back green flag. Off of turn number 2, there you go. Out for the race lead is the 24 car. Battling for third, though, Maddox and Patinko right behind Johnny Wood Jr. Houseman goes down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Hernandez there up top. Oh, Maddox and Patinko.
Patinko.
Maddox and Patinko making a little bit of contact, as you said, and they almost do it again down in turn 1 that time. Houseman privy to all of this, as is Hernandez, right behind these two going at it for third place. Johnny Wood Jr. got to Sutherland for a moment, now falls back a little bit. Maddox right on the left rear. Patinko nearly hooks him into turn 3. These guys are not afraid to lean on one another, and I like that.
That's what I'm saying. They are turning up the intensity while they still got, oh, what, 80? No.
122 laps to go.
Thank you. I am bad at math.
It's a long ways.
Fight for the lead, though. Johnny Wood Jr., Isaiah Sutherland, side by side.
They stay side by side all the way through 3 and 4. Sutherland going to win the battle for now, but right behind, you saw that puff of smoke. That was Houseman, I believe, getting into the 81 of Patinko. Patinko down low as Sutherland goes purple. Fastest lap of the race that lap by the 24 car. Patinko up the racetrack that time, bobbles up into the 8 car.
Houseman now, he's got Hernandez right behind him on the top side, floored behind them. Oh, it's going to be 2 by 2, coming off of 4. Never mind.
Oh,
Patinko in the wall. Hernandez, big save.
Evan got the wall hard that time out of turn 4. That was a big hit, and that's the stuff you want to avoid. Not only can you bend a toe link, break a toe link, you can actually damage the engine that way. There's a lot of reasons you do not want to hit the wall like that this early in the race. Still only lap 56 of 175 as Plord now looks for a way by Carl Pooler. Jamie knows that he's on his back foot without a fast repair and is now behind Evan Patinko. It's not much of a loss that he'd be making right now, or taking rather. He wouldn't be losing many points to the 81 car, but it's still some, and in these days, 1 point is a lot. Ooh, Pooler free. But 1 point is a lot, Zach. You've got to maximize everywhere you can.
That you have to. Any point on the racetrack is a point earned.
Plord and Patinko, the cut line battle on your screen. Plord to the bottom side. Patinko a little slower up top. Plord's going to have the run and the advantage to turn number 1. It should be a pretty easy pick-off for the 38 car as Buzzio goes fastest. Buzzio is sitting in 9th right now behind these guys. Goes fastest that lap with a big lap. A 30.964. For the race lead, Johnny Wood Jr. on the inside, Sutherland up top, lap 58.
Sure it's lap 58, because here we go again. Another fight, another battle. Sutherland up top, all the way down to the bottom. Johnny Wood Jr., who continues to see if that inside line is going to work. He's tried it at Eldora. He's trying it now, and look who's finally coming back into the mix. Houseman. He's finally coming back up here and ripping that top side.
Running in 3rd spot, just following along right now. You see that white and red spoiler for Johnny Wood Jr. That tells you that he's fighting in the bonus brawl. So he would be leading the bonus brawl standings for today. Not necessarily overall. We'd have to get the tally later on and find out who's going to win that pot later today. But, whoa, a big charge from Johnny Wood Jr. right to the outside of Sutherland. He got the run at the perfect time. Now, is he going to have the run off the corner? He's going to try, but no dice.
All single file now throughout the field. Never mind. Johnny Wood Jr. to the bottom once again. Houseman goes with him, though, so he'll have some help, leaving Sutherland by himself. But as we go on to the straightaway, now Sutherland with the help. Johnny Wood Jr. pulling alongside still. No dice. Still side by side for the lead.
3 Chevrolets fighting for the race lead here at Chicagoland. Lap 61 will be complete this time. And that puts us past halfway in stage number 2. Stage points for stage 1 already paid out. Johnny Wood Jr. was the stage winner. Mason Houseman right on the apron that time. Got free, falls back just a little bit, and will lose the second spot right back away to Johnny Wood. That Snow's Performance 75 Chevrolet is just looking so good. He doesn't quite have what Sutherland has, I think. He's good, though, in his own right, and is very consistent from what I've seen so far. In the wall, one spinning. It's Hernandez through the grass.
Oh, no. He was one of the quick guys here tonight. No caution on the speedway. We are still green flag racing.
No caution yet, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. One other car was in the wall. I think that was Carl Pooler, and he seems to be okay, although he's falling down to 13th position. So we stay green. And here we go. Battle for second again. Johnny Wood Jr. outside, Mason Houseman inside. They meet in the middle.
A little interesting conversations going on over the radio after that incident. Not sure as to what happened just yet, but as we look on from the onboard of Mason Houseman, which is a beautiful graphic that Andrew is gracious with here on Pit Stop TV, so you can see exactly what's going on inside that car, what gear, the RPM, and the miles per hour that these guys are turning on the speedway, as Houseman still tries to find a way around Johnny Wood Jr. so he can go after Isaiah Sutherland, the two who we thought were going to fight for the win at Eldora. And it all ended up being Houseman's race on the dirt. And look, Johnny Wood Jr., he taps the wall again.
Staying on board with Houseman so far. Brendan Maddox looks really good today. He's sitting right behind these guys in fourth. So it's 4 Chevrolets at the front of the field, 1 Ford in 5th. Patinko runs 6th. A really strong day so far for the cut line between Plord and Patinko. Hopefully it stays that way as everybody follows it at turn 1 on a conga line. Working lap 66. This is mile 100 for these drivers, and a big dive there for Mason Houseman right to the inside of Sutherland. And we're going to have ourselves a fight for the race lead. He bullies Sutherland up the racetrack. And Sutherland fires back, and Mason Houseman is going to get turned. Oh, and Plord's in it.
Patinko sneaks on through.
And Johnny Wood Jr. takes a big hit, is going to collect one more. That was Jensen down there in the 99 car. The excitement here in stage 2 is second to none. Sometimes for the wrong reasons, though, I gotta admit. That is not what you want to see. So Mason Houseman moves the 24 up the racetrack. The 24 comes back at him there. I don't think that was intentional. He was just trying to get back down to his door. They were already going to be crashing, and Patinko might have just got the 75 car of Johnny Wood Jr. This is going to take some slow-mo, I think. So off the corner, the 24 comes down the racetrack trying to get back to Houseman's door. Houseman goes into a spin, collects Johnny Wood Jr. and Jamie Plord. We slow it down a little more here, and Johnny Wood's going to come up the racetrack and hardly hit, well, hard, as in actually hard, hit to the outside wall. Patinko just sneaks by, I think. That was really, really close. As the 75 goes head on into the outside wall, and it comes down the racetrack. It is going to collect one more. Here comes Jensen in the 99. Nowhere to go as Johnny Wood Jr. steering to the right, but turning left. Well, Zach, things just heated up. Gonna ride on board with the 99 car here in a moment. They were Jensen. Just watching this replay one more time, and if you fall back to Jensen here, Poor guy had nothing to do with any of this, just ends up in it at the very end. And Jensen is a teammate to Isaiah Sutherland, and oh man, right at the end there.
Not what you expected to see.
Not at all what I think any of us were expecting here in stage number 2. Sutherland for now is going to stay the race leader. Evan Patinko second. Houseman, it looks like is going to line up third. No, maybe second actually.
They were apparently supposed to choose this time, but that did not happen. And I don't know, Andrew. I don't agree with Houseman staying on the racetrack with all of that damage on the race car. Maybe the side damage is acceptable, but look at the nose. If you want to bring out your beautiful yellow cursor, you take a look at that front end of the nose right there, where it would come out to a point. It is very, very flat.
Yeah, what he's talking about is right here on the nose. It's pretty well punched in from that crash. I think we're going to choose this time by, but that's definitely a lot of damage for Houseman. And I think that, again, was just some pretty hard racing between the two. I don't think Sutherland... Certainly, I don't think he had any intent to crash the 78 car. I think he just came off the wall and was expecting Houseman to be lower. Maybe that's the theme of the night. We're going to have 10 laps to go in stage 2. Hopefully we don't have any more of these kinds of incidents. Want to give a big nod to all the partners here with the series. Of course, the Buttkicker, the namesake of the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. Ascendance Trucks. Ideal Lease, tonight's presenting partner of the Ideal Lease 250. And Sundance Pizza. I could go for some pizza right now. Sundance, hook us up. I'll take a pepperoni.
Pizza sounds beautiful right now.
I'll take a pepperoni and black olive.
I will take a hand-tossed cheese pizza with extra cheese.
Cheese? Nothing else?
Cheese. Do I have to spell it out for you? Cheese.
You're like the Northerners. My fiance from New Jersey likes just a cheese pie. I've never...
Nothing wrong with a classic pie. You want to talk about classic? We're setting up for a classic race here as the pace car pulls off once again.
Like a cheese pull, back to green flag racing. We're going to stretch the field out. 10 laps to go in stage number 2. Houseman bullies a 24 up the racetrack just a little bit. He's fighting for everything he's got on this restart, learning just how much damage he's got on that 78 Chevrolet. Sutherland all the way to the outside wall, going to hang on to the race lead. Buzzio takes over third, Patinko in fourth.
I don't think there's a lot of engine damage on that car, but he's definitely hurting aero-wise, so I think he's going to try to stay in the draft as much as possible. But if Houseman gets to the race lead somehow, some way, shape, or form, the second he gets up there, he's just going to start punching a hole as Hernandez all over, goes turning off the nose of Brendan Maddox. That's going to be a caution.
Caution's out. It's not the first time Hernandez has gone through the grass today.
And I don't think he's going to be too happy about that one either.
Hard to say just based on that what went on. Of course, we'll get some more replays.
There seemed to be a lot of ping pong going on.
Let's watch this from high above. This will help us. So Bottoms is up top, oddly enough. Jason Bottoms there in the 57 car. Contact between him and Hernandez. Hernandez gets into him again and then comes off of him. And that is where Maddox was waiting for him. I'm just glad all four wheels stayed on the ground. That had all the makings of a blowover if this car had the blowover physics enabled. For Hernandez's sake, I'm glad it didn't, because that, I'm telling you, Zach, that had all the makings of blowing over.
That it did. You can see the
just gets hooked around perfectly right here. Ooh. Roof flaps doing their job.
One thing that is also not fully in tune with the physics of this race car is that what you don't see on the next gen, as Ford is still in the pit lane. Oh, he's been sitting there the whole time after that big impact. He did take his fast repair after that first incident, so he's just sitting there trying to get it fixed as best he can. You can see it getting buffed out. He's currently sitting 4 laps down. Here we look at Evan Buttkicker in his playoff fight. He's sitting 3rd, Andrew. He's worked himself up from almost dead last on this racetrack to just about fighting for as many points as he can. He's going to get more stage points. Ford is not. So this is going to set up what is going to be an interesting next 2 races. Should Evan Buttkicker be able to fight his way in with some points here? He was only 23 points back at the start of this race, and you can see a little right front damage on the right front of that 81. But with the stage points that he's earning from stage 1 and stage 2, he's looking at setting himself up for a solid push into the chase.
Maybe. He's still got Bristol and California to go if he can earn enough points here this evening. Looks like we're not going to choose this time. Everybody stays single file. Jamie Plord, the only driver 1 lap down, as one car was sticking out to the top side as if maybe they were going to go by. Well, let's talk about the schedule again. Kind of a short season. Only 18 races, a lot of series. In fact, we cover the Icon Cup Series that runs double this, plus 1 race. They run 37 races in a calendar year. We're in race 26 this week, in case you're wondering, as we're still in race 11 now for the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series. They started at different times, though, of course, and you see since June 11th, these guys have had one heck of a summer. Daytona, Richmond, Texas, New Hampshire, the Chicago Street Course, Atlanta, Kentucky, Iowa, Indianapolis. That is where we picked up coverage, at Indianapolis. Then we joined these guys at Eldora a week ago, Chicagoland this evening, Bristol next week, California to round out the regular season on September the 3rd. Then we go to Las Vegas September 10th. Between Bristol and California, Zach, which track, if you're a driver, which track is the bigger track that you've got to capitalize on, that you've got to make something happen?
Between which tracks exactly are we referring to here?
Bristol and California.
You say big tracks, and I hear Bristol, and that doesn't work well in the same sentence. Oh my goodness. If I had to take any sort of pick, I would probably have to go with Bristol. There's more of a chance that you're going to wreck out of that race, and it's always, they don't call it the last great Coliseum for nothing. It has not earned that nickname from any sort of clean racing or shy drivers not going for a move. It is, not unlike Bowman Gray Stadium, which just got announced to be the clash for the NASCAR Cup Series in 2025. They call it the Madhouse for a reason. So you take Bristol, compare it to something like Bowman Gray or any other short track around here, it's going to be the one track that you don't really want to lose points at.
Thanks for following along so far. There we go. With us at Pit Stop TV this evening. It's been a challenging one for us on the broadcast side, a challenging one on the driver's side in some cases. But make sure to follow along on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and X, as we get ready to go back green flag racing, this time out of turn number 4 into the Geico restart zone. Sutherland back on the loud pedal. We're back green flag racing on lap 77. Buzzio moves up the racetrack out of turn 2 and claims the 3rd position. Buttkicker falls back to 5th as Borbo goes by in the 2 car. Here they come off to turn 4, and Buzzio gets the outside wall just a bit. Buttkicker officially falls back there a little bit. The 2 Maddoxes run side by side. Brendan inside, William outside. We've got ourselves a race.
We also got cars on the outside wall. It seems to be the most common occurrence tonight, as everyone's still filtering through the backstretch. 3 wide, going into turn number 3. Oh, very, very close right there for second. Buzzio and Houseman, they almost came across each other's noses. And, oh, look at that. These guys are really going after it. They're fighting hard. Johnny Wood Jr. goes purple that time. He's in the 12th spot right now. Look at that fight out in front, Andrew. These drivers are just... they don't care. That's the best way to put it. They do not care.
Buttkicker got a shot.
But they don't care.
Buttkicker got a big shot that time from Maddox. Gives a shot to Buzzio. And we're on board with Jason Bottoms, who was really making some headway. Lifted that time to make some room as William Maddox gets down into the 5 car. But here comes Bottoms on the top side. Look at him rolling the top up there. Oh,
what a move.
Man, there was some contact, some leaning on one another that time out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. 3 wide through the corner here, 2 rows deep. Buzzio in the middle, Borbo in the wall. That's Buttkicker with some contact, 4 wide again.
And that's the stage.
Wow, and they're going to crash. Carl Pooler, Mason Houseman, Dustin Stallings, all crashing. Just because the stage is out and the caution is out does not mean damage does not accumulate for these guys. That is a big hit for some drivers.
What a race to the stage. And I would like to point out that 4 wide scenario as they crossed the line, all 4 of those drivers were within 4/100ths of a second as they crossed the line, giving the edge to Buttkicker at the line.
Yeah, Buttkicker down there, then Buzzio. You've got the 2 of Borbo up top. What happens for the crash itself? Well, Brendan Maddox comes off of the apron here into the 71 of Carl Pooler, who was holding the bottom in that 4 wide. Maddox just comes up and is going to push the 71 up into Houseman, it looks like. And that is going to be where we get ourselves our crash after the stripe. And sure enough, the 71 gets up into Houseman. And that ends up turning the 75 of not Carl Pooler, of Johnny Wood Jr. So the 71, 75, and 78 start this one. The 78 took a big hit. That's Houseman.
Yeah, Houseman was actually just coming over the radio and saying he was having a lot of trouble getting into pit road, and I wouldn't be surprised. The right front tire is just gone. I mean, it's still connected, but there's no way you're going to be able to turn with it right now.
On board with Mason Houseman.
There's the 4 wide across the line. Squeeze right there into Johnny Wood Jr. And Johnny Wood Jr. has also used a fast repair already, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be detrimental for him rolling forward.
Houseman able to use a fast repair, so he gets back on the racetrack. Buttkicker uses a fast fix. And we're going to have 2 drivers staying out under this yellow. Richard Wolsifer and Eric Jensen. They will stay out. 1 car takes fuel only, and that's Jason Bottoms, saving a set of tires. He's already been in pit lane 4 times. Isaiah Sutherland, the first car on tires. He exits in the 4th spot. And he wins stage number 2. So we will dial up driver 24 and talk to him as he goes stage number 2 winner, rather. Nearly got that stage 1 win earlier. Isaiah, clearly you've got some strength here at Chicagoland. How's the car feel?
Actually, really, really good. I enjoyed the way the car is feeling, all the different lanes that you can run, and yeah, the car feels really good, and the racing has been really, really fun.
Still a long ways to go, though. 95 laps in total in stage 3. That's at least 1 pit stop. How are you shaping up here for stage number 3?
I mean, there's really not much to worry about. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a fuel mileage race or anything, so I think it's just try to stay up front, somewhere where you can be in contention to win, and make good on the pit stop if there's no caution, and just make sure everything goes perfectly. But the race isn't over till it's over, and a lot of fast guys there. Mason's real quick. Me and him kind of got into it a little bit there, which I believe is just a racing incident there. But a lot of fast guys. You never know how it's going to end until it's over. But so far, feeling really good.
You read my mind about what my next question was about. What did happen there in that fight between you and Hausman?
Well, it looked like he just sent it in there really hard because he was racing Woods there, and he was really trying to get past him. So he threw it real deep inside me, trying to pass Woods, and I gave him plenty of room. And on the exit, I mean, these corners come so fast. They really do. So I believe just on the exit he got real tight, and he kind of got into me there, and then I kind of wiggled because I just got bumped, and it got into him, and it accordioned there. So there was no ill intent behind it. It was just he got into me, I got into him, one of those things.
A long ways to go. How about the teammate work with you and Jensen? He's had kind of a not so great day, involved in a crash or two, but he's going to be restarting ahead of you here on the restart. Yeah,
Eric's he's been racing not as long as many as others on iRacing, so he's still kind of in a learning process, but he's really grown over the past 3-4 years that he has raced, and he's doing a little bit of a strategy here, and he's real clean. He never wants to get in anybody or tries to misdirect as best he can. So I'm rooting for him and hope this little strategy works for him here.
Best of luck here on the restart.
10-4, thank you.
Isaiah Sutherland going to restart from the 6th position here. Going to talk to him. That's your Stage 2 winner. And it's good to hear especially about that incident with Mason Hausman, as Richard Wolsifer and Eric Jensen will lead us to the green flag, this time out of turn number 4. 90 laps to go exactly when we take the green flag. Wolsifer early on the loud pedal. We are back green at Chicago. Side by side for second. Here comes Jason Bottoms on the top side.
Side by side for second. Bottoms trying to make a move. Look at Sutherland. Big sense to the inside line. Trying to get that car back up to the front. Side by side with Buzzio. As he completes one lap under green. And Andrew, I just did the math while you were talking to our Stage 2 winner. Evan Patinko currently runs in the 9th position. After the stage points that he got in Stage 1 and Stage 2, and Plord received no stage points and is currently 18 laps down, they are currently separated, not including the points currently being gained due to Patinko's position on the racetrack right now. They are separated by 14 points. So being that Patinko is up by about 9 more spots, that would put him 5 points outside of the chase. Now down to 6.
Oh, Jason Bottoms gets squeezed into the wall there. Good to hear about the points update. Did you, by chance, as Bottoms goes for a big slide job here in turns 3 and 4, is going to try and clear, and he will clear the 56 for the race lead. Wolsifer knocks the feds down off of turn 4. Did you happen to include Plord stage points? From stage 1. From stage 1.
That's the problem. He didn't earn any stage points from stage 1. He finished 11th in stage 1.
Wow.
He was part of the caution that brought it out. No
That's
stage
right.
points in 1 or 2. So in total, I believe if I did my math correctly, Patinko gained 9 points from the stage. So he's 14 points out. And considering he's 8 spots up now, that would put him 6 points out.
Wow. How the tables turn. That's very interesting as we work lap 90. Patinko working on some big time points. If he can get further up here, maybe, just maybe, can he drive his way into the chase tonight. Plord 21 laps down. Stallings is out of this race as well, so there is a little bit of hope for Plord to get back in this race and earn a couple more points, but not a ton as we go 3 wide now for the 2nd spot. Wolsifer up top, falls back in line. Now it's the 5 and 24 side by side. Sutherland works the bottom. Sutherland and Buzzio are both on tires, so Buzzio doesn't have any kind of disadvantage in that game. Sutherland just looks this good right now.
He's been fast, Andrew. There is no denying it. He has been one of the quickest cars. One driver I think has been pretty quick, not to keep singing his praises, Devin Buttkicker. He seems to have the pace, but doesn't seem to have it on the short run. That's the problem, especially on the restarts. As Sutherland now going for a move for second, side by side with Buzzio. The 5 and the 24. Usually when you're talking about them, you're talking about William Byron and Kyle Larson. One of them looks like one, and the other not so much, as they continue to run side by side into turn 1. Sutherland, big send. And look at that, Stallings now coming back out on the racetrack, 10 laps down.
That's going to hurt Jamie Pord's chances once again, as Buzzio works to the inside now of Sutherland. Sutherland had got the top side that time through 1 and 2. Eric Jensen is still in this fight on old tires, by the way. He's that gray and green. Oh, Maddox!
William Maddox.
And one more. Borbell in the wall. The 2 car. Caution's out. We'll take a look back at what happened here between the 33 car and the 2. I think they were unrelated, so we'll watch the 33 here first. He's racing with Mason Houseman and Patrick Hernandez. Hernandez has been quiet since he went back through the grass recently. But Houseman fighting back through this field, still trying to nurse that center punched nose. And he's just going to turn the 33 here off the corner. Comes up the racetrack. Borbell went to the inside, and Borbell ends up coming across Buttkinker's nose. But how? So Stephen Borbell in the 2 car down low. Ends up going way to the inside of Houseman, and then slides and crashes up into the 81 of Evan Buttkicker, who's already used a fast repair.
Not what you want to see, Andrew. That's not what you want to see at all. The amount of two-up race cars tonight has been somewhat immeasurable compared to the field size. There is the spin from Evan Buttkinker's nose, and woo! You think you're gonna miss it, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Pretty big hit, and he's gonna come in for service. Look at all that damage on the nose. That is a pretty large one. A lot of damage to the 81 car as a handful of cars work off the pit lane. It looks like Bly is gonna pit this caution, as does Maddox, Borbell, and Bottoms. Bottoms takes 4 tires. Borbell takes 4 tires. Mason Houseman sits in the pit lane taking repairs. Carl Pooler does as well. And Evan Buttkicker. So 3 cars in the pit lane taking repairs, all on the lead lap. We expect them each back on the racetrack here in just a moment. There goes Buttkicker. Nose looks good. And we wait on Houseman.
A full minute in the box. Yowza. Doing everything he can not to use that fast repair. Actually, he already used it, didn't he?
Mason Houseman has used his fast repair, yes. While we work under caution here, just inside of 80 laps to go, let's take a look at what's upcoming for us at Pit Stop TV. Next up, we head up to Oxford, Maine tomorrow night for qualifying and heat races for the Yacht Club Soda Oxford 250 in the SARA 18 Racing Media National Tour. The Sim Auto Racing Association hosts the best short track racing on iRacing.com, and they're going racing at Oxford Plains this week, Wednesday and Thursday, for the Yacht Club Soda Oxford 250. So we've got qualifying and heats tomorrow night. We've got the race on Thursday. In fact, tonight they're running late model stocks and street stocks at the racetrack. That should be a lot of fun. Then Sunday, Zach, we begin the Icon Cup Series playoffs here at Pit Stop TV. Daytona International Speedway, right where these Buttkicker drivers began their season back on June 11th. Daytona is going to be a lot of fun this Sunday. Maybe we get some crossover. You BRB guys need to tune in for this. We kick off the playoffs at Daytona, of all places.
Do 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 do. Daytona. I had to. Sorry, I had to do it. If you ever played that game, you'd know how fun that is. But so many great places to follow along with Pit Stop TV. You can see all the links right down there at the bottom. I don't think I have enough time to beat my record before these guys go back green. So, let you guys take a look at all those great places to watch along here at Pit Stop TV as these guys get doubled up, ready to go. We've already chosen. I think we're setting up for a great run to the end, Andrew. We've got just over 75 laps to go. Sutherland looks to be the control car. I'm not sure what's going on, though, because they're all kind of falling back here and there. Never mind. No, excuse me. Buzzio chose the top, so everyone's starting to fall in on the bottom. And we can confirm that Jamie Plord has taken that car to the garage. He is done for the day. He's no longer trying to fix it. That's going to hurt him in the playoffs. There's the chase.
Here comes Isaiah Sutherland to the Geico restart zone, waiting on the green flag. Green is back in the air. We're back racing on lap 98 of 175. Oh, a 3 wide here. Maddox pokes to the inside of Chad Bean. The 9 car of Bean is going to fall back big time through the middle.
Single file for the most part within the top 5. Oh, Patinko in the wall back there. Lots of drivers swirly at the moment. See Maddox up in the middle line. He is trying to get a pull as Hernandez taps the wall again. Buzzio to the bottom with Sutherland trying to stay in the draft. Lap 99 underway.
Wolsifer on somewhat older tires is hanging with these guys out front as Sutherland leads off of turn number 2. Single file through your top 6. First side-by-side is 3 wide. Houseman on the inside, then Bean. And now Jason Bottoms gets clear, makes it 2 wide right behind him. There's still some battling further back with Evan Patinko. Patinko, Maddox, Borabel, and Jared Hughes. Haven't seen much of that 98 car today.
That we have not.
Maddox right on the door of the 81 there to turn 1, and Patinko goes down to the inside with it. Has the nose advantage off of turn 2. This is racing for 12th position. Patinko trying to make the chase. Needs to get all the points he can. Is stuck back here in the bottom end of the field right now in 13th position. Nearly gets the wall there. Here comes Borabel. And the 2 car has a run, has the position at the stripe.
Patinko can potentially point himself into the playoffs tonight with still 2 races left to go. He can at least bridge that points gap. He needs to finish at least, 4th? It would have to be to tie, and 3rd to be able to have the advantage going into the next race. So, a top 3 for Evan Patinko tonight would be beautiful. And I think he heard me, Andrew, because here he goes making the pass on that 98 of Hughes. That's going to be for 13th. And he will get clear, looks like it, going into turn 1.
Big pass made there by the 81 car. That's for a point, of course. Needs to start stacking up a few more, though. Want to touch on Mason Houseman working through this field. He's now on the inside of Patrick Hernandez and has been methodically working by more and more of these drivers. Real close there off of turn 4. Mason Houseman, though, back up into 7th spot. He's been as low as 17th in this race. And wow, Jason Bottoms goes fastest right ahead of Houseman. Houseman is up into 6th. Well, racing for 6th.
He's trying. He's really driving angry, honestly. Got to find a way to get back to the front. He's one of the fastest guys out here. Look at the big dives. That's the one thing I've been seeing out of a lot of these drivers. They've been sending big dives into the corners. Not really given 2 thoughts of it. I mean, they're just going for it.
Back on board with Houseman as he follows Jason Bottoms through turns 1 and 2. They'll pull up on the 8 car of Brendan Maddox, rather.
They are driving by him like he's standing still. side by side into turn number 3. Bottom still up on top. He's going to draw alongside Wolsifer as Maddox falls in line in front of Hernandez, who drops straight to the bottom to pass him up and take that spot away. Maddox going backwards quickly as Hausman still moving forward side by side with Bottoms, now right behind Wolsifer. Bottom line seems to be coming in now, Andrew. He's making moves down there, and he's making them happen now alongside Wolsifer for third.
So Hausman, gets just to the left rear of the 5-car of Buzzio, hikes him up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes Wolsifer trying to go somewhere. Hernandez is back in this fight. Bottom's there. Man, these guys do not quit.
See Buzzio getting the run there off of turn number 2. Wolsifer following. Bottoms falls in line. Hausman all by himself now. Side by side third. Wolsifer up top.
Oh, big hit there for Bottoms.
Hitting the wall. These guys cannot stay out of the wall on corner exit.
It's difficult here. You end up carrying so much speed through the corner that the wall just kind of meets you there every single time. Hausman, though, side by side with Wolsifer for third. Isaiah Sutherland leads the race. Buzzio sits in second.
Oh, Hernandez in the wall. I don't think he's going to be too happy with Hausman there. Didn't cut him a whole lot of slack. He felt like he wasn't totally clear of that 78 car. And I can confirm, he is a little upsetty spaghetti.
Oh, man. The upset spaghetti. I haven't heard that in a while. Well, single file through your top 6, all the way back to the battle for 7th. Brendan Maddox and Carl Pooler. Stephen Borbell's there.
Nico, by the way, he's moved up to 11th. He's gaining points now.
Oh, little moment there with him and Eric Jensen, but he powers to the inside of Brendan Maddox, and sure enough, Buttkicker is working on it here. Moves into the 10th spot.
I'm not the only one that saw a little puff of smoke right there out of 2.
Oh, Borbell nearly into Carl Pooler there into turn number 3. This has just been a very, very physical, hands-on kind of race, and it's going to stay that way through the end of it, I think, as Sutherland has just about been caught for the race lead. Buzzio works the inside, Hausman works the outside.
Really taking all the air off of that number 5. Forcing him to get out of the gas, otherwise he would have slid all the way up the racetrack. And look at Hernandez all over the back bumper of that 78. I don't think he's any more happier than he was a couple laps ago when they ended up getting into it coming off of turn number 4. So, might expect a little bit of a tighter leash between the 78 and the 91 as the race rolls on. But the top 2 that you were expecting, 24-78, running solid as we look through the rest of the field. Bottom still, ironically, running the top.
Bottoms and Buzzio fight for 4th. Buzzio slots into 5th. Now a side-by-side between Wolsifer and Borbell. Borbell to the inside, and Patinko is into 9th. Now 8th. Patinko is moving up. These are very important points, not just for him, but for the league in general. This would change up the 10th and final seed in the chase.
Needs these points, Andrew. The only driver that is still pretty close on the playoff, or excuse me, the chase bubble is Brendan Maddox. And he is currently in the 10th spot, but he has such a huge cushion that it would take a miracle for him to fall out of the playoffs, so we don't exactly rope him into this battle. But Patinko needs only 3 more spots to tie that playoff cut line and lock himself in effectively with 2 races to go. I don't want to say lock in. That's the wrong choice of words. I would say point himself in at the moment.
Yeah, locking in, not possible for these guys, although I would say that Mason Hausman is probably locked in at this point with the 233-point gap he came into tonight with. I would dare say he is pretty well locked into the chase by now. Speaking of Mason Houseman and Isaiah Sutherland, they race for the race lead. Houseman to the inside, Sutherland outside. This is going to be a lot of fun when they get back side by side here, I think.
Considering we were expecting these two to be the ones running up front at Eldora, and it just became the Mason Houseman show, do we see the race that we wanted to see? As we've got one car spinning on the front stretch through the grass. Yellow is out on the racetrack.
Jason Bottoms.
Oh, no.
A lot of damage for a driver making his first start in the series. It's been a lot of fun to watch today. And the right front fender is seen better days.
Doing a dance. Look at that right front tire, though. Not even turning.
Question is, was Buttkicker involved in this? We're going to find out here. It's right in front of Buttkicker. You see the 2 car on the inside, the 91 on the outside. That's how this starts. And it involves the 2 of Borbell. They both go into the grass. Bottoms comes back up the racetrack, though, and hits the outside wall with a head of steam. The 2 spins across.
William Maddox just about had a Code Brown moment. And slides up into Hernandez, and Hernandez does a little bounce. Just another game of ping pong right there.
Oh my gosh.
Heavy impact. Look at William Maddox right side of the screen. You couldn't see it right there.
We'll get it on board, don't worry.
Oh, he barely made it by.
Inside the car with driver 33.
He's just rolling down the front stretch. And then...
Oh! Hello.
Not exactly something you expected to see, as pit stops are underway. And we talked about that point situation. Buttkicker is up to 5th. So currently sitting 1 spot out from a tiebreaker. And I don't exactly know who would get the tiebreaker, considering they don't have any wins. Would it go off of 2nd place finishes, or would it go off of top 5s?
Might have to get clarification on that soon, but of course with 2 races to go, not much worry about it. As Sutherland will look to be first off the pit lane, and he will be. Sutherland. It'll be then Houseman, Hernandez, Buttkicker might have just got Buzzio. I think he did. He's going to power ahead of the 5 car.
One heck of a pit stop. He's got to be thanking that 81 crew for getting him out as quickly as possible.
Sutherland stays out ahead. As we work on to the backstretch, we're going to go Pit Stop TV side by side here under this caution and be back to you in just a moment. Welcome back to the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. It's like you never left. You were here the whole time as you got to see the shoes and everything there alongside our side-by-side break. We'll be going green this time by Isaiah Sutherland, Patrick Hernandez, the front row. Down to the safety of pit lane goes the iRacing.com safety car. Houseman gives Sutherland a shot. We're back green at Chicagoland. One car all the way onto the apron. It's Carl Pooler to the inside of Evan Patinko, who goes nowhere on the restart, is going to fall all the way back to 7th spot. "56 laps to go," in case you were counting.
It's the one thing that Evan Patinko has been struggling on tonight, and that has been restart. He was absolutely in a great spot to move forward. Just a little mishap throws him only a few spots back. Now up to 6, side by side. No, actually, single file. The side by side is behind them. That's the Maddox brothers as they continue to roll on through Chicagoland Speedway. 120 laps completed. Side by side now for third. Hernandez up the racetrack, and Buzzio to the inside as the fight for the lead continues. Hausman's trying to close in.
Hausman into turn 1 is going to fall back a little bit. Buzzio with a big shot to the inside. Fires up underneath the 91 car. Hernandez is there though on the outside out of turn 2. Lordy. Hernandez had a big run there. Got back to the outside of Buzzio. We'll try to do the same thing here off of 4, but it's not going to work. He slides now into the 4th spot. One car down low in the back. That was Jensen on the inside of Jared Hughes. And Johnny Wood Jr. back in this race goes fastest.
Johnny Wood Jr. is back on the lead lap too. I didn't even notice that.
He's been a non-factor for a while, but is back in this race now. Now in the 12th position, racing with Chad Bean and Stephen Borbell.
I think he just showed us he is not a non-factor in this race.
Has been for about 100 laps, though. Ever since that crash that set him back earlier, he has just been out of it. Haven't seen much of the 75 car, but you're seeing him now as he runs to the 13th position. Next car behind him is Richard Wolsifer back here with Dakota Bly. These guys running off the pace, 14th and 15th spots, respectively. But up front, Sutherland leads over Hausman. 124 complete, coming up to 50 to go.
Not too much time left in this race. Some may say it's still early. Heck, if we were at Daytona, this would technically still be extremely early as the fight for the lead. We keep saying it, it keeps going. Hausman now looking middle, crossing bottom. I don't know if I agree with crossing the wake there, Andrew. I would say keep the run going, keep the momentum up. Don't cross the wake with these cars because the aero, while it doesn't always matter, still can be very sensitive. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with just crossing the wake like that and falling back in line when you may have a run on the top. Get that clean air on the nose.
At the same time, Zach, my rebuttal, 5 wins.
Can't argue with that rebuttal.
5 wins this season, looking for 6. Pulls up on Sutherland.
Never been.
And we don't know exactly how Hausman's going to treat this situation, of course, after their contact and crash earlier. Who knows? Hausman could get antsy here. Oh! Sutherland gets free off the corner. This is going to open up a prime opportunity. Hausman to the inside.
He touched the apron. He touched the apron with those left side tires when he
Big
crossed him
send.
over.
Tries to go for a slider. It's not going to happen. Sutherland
clear.
back on the outside.
Squeeze him, pinch him, put him in the wall.
Whoa now.
Oh, come on. We've all got that Austin Dillon in us.
Oh, no. It's, Sutherland takes the race lead back away from Mason Hausman. Buzzio in third. Then Hernandez, Pooler, and Patinko. Maddox, Hughes, Borbell, your top 10. Well, Hausman was there. He couldn't get the spot away. Sutherland is too good. The top side is too good. not able to take the spot away just yet.
Can I get a DD defense from Sutherland? Just rolling that top line. We've talked about it all race long. Top line's the way to go for passing and for defending. It's a great racetrack, Andrew. I love Chicagoland. I love the racing this track produces. As we've got a side-by-side battle for third. This is, actually for fourth, excuse me. This is to tie, to get into the chase. This would move Evan Patinko into a tiebreaker situation with Jamie Plord moving into the next two races, which would set up for probably one heck of a fight throughout Bristol and California. And as we go through turn number 2, move that into the standings bracket as plus minus 0 to the driver in front.
Unofficially. I want to stress that. Unofficially, but I think your math is pretty correct so far. Patinko.
I suck at math.
Patinko trying to even up that cut line battle. If not, start to move on the plus side of it. Meanwhile, top 3 under a blanket. Sutherland, Houseman, Buzzio within 0.2 of one another.
Crossing the wake again.
Here comes Houseman. Lap 131 of 175. They're clicking off one by one.
I know it's an intermediate. I know the speeds are higher, but hear me out on this. Bump and run.
Oh, that might be a crash. That's how you end up with a crash here early. Certainly not yet. A lot of laps to go. Still on the far side of 40 to go.
There's the cross again, but it looks like the run is better this time. Drawing alongside once again, Mason Hausman, Isaiah Sutherland. Big
going for a slider.
Turn number 3. Boy, you'd think this is a dirt track with the amount of sliders they're throwing. Up
it
the
was last weekend. Oh, Sutherland.
Crossover.
Big crossover from the 24 car. Let's see if it's going to work out for him down in 1 and 2. Is he going to throw a slide job into the first corner? No, he stays right on the left side door.
He pulled the air off that 78, but now Hausman comes on down. Tries to cut the arrow off of that 24 car. Force him to let off the gas by sliding up the racetrack. Not going to happen this time around. Sutherland, he is not doing the same strategy by throwing it in. He is just pulling alongside that 78. Slides up the racetrack. A little bit of contact, just barely. But now, the racing is clear. The track is clear in front for Hausman. He's got the clean air. And now he can try to set sail and drive away from that 24 car and hopefully chase down win number 6.
A changing of the race lead, and here comes Evan Patinko, racing for third spot.
Racing for the chase.
That's right. Looking to get by Adam Buzzio. And you know what? It might even also be for the, I think you got the wall there that time. Might even be for the BRB bonus brawl, as here comes Sutherland again on Houseman.
An update, actually, on that BRB bonus
Boo!
brawl.
Oh, boo! I don't know where... I don't know what I'm saying. Change for the race lead. A moo, as there's some contact out of these two. They're almost going to make some more.
They did make some more coming off of turn number 2. They are not holding back this race. You thought it was heating up before. Is turn that dial off the stove and break it, because this battle just turned up the intensity even more. Buzzio now, closest he's ever been. Patinko only a couple tenths back. Hernandez and Pooler right behind them. And as I was saying, an update on the BRB brawl. Brendan Maddox and Jared Hughes, Adam Buzzio. That is your top 3 right now, all separated by 1 point. Carl Pooler 2 points behind Maddox. So right now, Adam Buzzio would be your brawl winner, and he would win the pot. Brendan Maddox needs to finish in front of Buzzio, and he needs to finish in front of Pooler.
Maddox down in the 8th position right now behind his brother William. Meanwhile, Buzzio moves into 2nd spot, so Houseman into 3rd, Patinko in 4th. A lot has changed very quickly, and Buzzio is looking good as this run goes on. Sutherland took the race lead back away. As far as laps led, just out of curiosity, Sutherland with 86, Houseman has only led 9. Johnny Wood Jr.'s led 26 laps here today. Bottom's led 6. That is a staggering number for Sutherland, as here comes Buzzio looking for his first lap lead of the day.
just gets the nose barely out in front off of turn number 2. But that run off the top is going to propel Sutherland forward even more as they continue to fight for that race lead. It's now about a 3-4 car battle as Evan Patinko now comes into the mix. He started dead last of the cars that actually made it onto the racetrack. He's up 14 spots. He gets one more spot. He would potentially, unofficially, put himself +1 to the cut line to make it into the chase as that last seed in on points. As the fight now, 3 cars under a blanket. Hausman clear for second. Does he make a move to the inside? No, he does not. Continues to roll the top. Does he get a run here, though, Andrew? Will he be able to take that lead away? Buzzio to the inside.
No changing of the race lead here. Battle for second on your screen. As we get closer and closer now to 35 laps to go. These guys just keep after it, lap after lap after lap, never relenting. And at some point, something's got to change, right? They can't keep this up the entire race, can they? As Patinko goes by for 3rd spot, Buzzio falls back to 4th. Hernandez looks to the top side for that 4th spot. Sutherland falls back here to Hausman. Hausman gets the wall, as does Hernandez.
Heyday looking ever so sweeter for Pooler in that 71. He needs 2 positions. Excuse me. Actually, no, he needs 1 position over... No, he does need 2 positions. 2 positions over Buzzio to effectively win the pot. 1 position to tie. As to what a tiebreaker would be for the brawl, I actually don't know. But we look on.
And remember, the way they earn those points is a little bit unique. So the top driver that is in the BRB bonus brawl gets 10 points. No matter if they finish 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, if they're the top driver in the bonus brawl, they get 10 points. Second driver in the bonus brawl gets 9. So on down the line for your top 10. If you're 11th in the bonus brawl, you get no points on the day. So it's a really unique way to earn points. It's kind of akin to the Noble system of years past. A lot of fun to try and keep up with. It's going to be a lot for us on top of the chase cut line, as here comes Patinko for 2nd spot.
That car has come to life. One driver we really didn't expect to see running for the win as he taps the apron. Woo! That's one way to get your stripes pretty early on. I say early on, but we are closing in on 30 laps to go.
Oh,
but
contact almost. Patinko out of the gas.
His tires.
Maybe not. He falls back big time here out of the corner, down to 5th, now 6th. Pooler goes by. Welcome, Pooler. Patinko gets into him.
Oh, boy. I'm going to close my eyes. Tell me when it's over.
Evan has used his stuff up. He just fell back big time. It was worth it, though. It's still worth it.
Around.
He's falling all the way back to the end of this train. But if you know what, if we see pit stops, if pit stops are necessary in this stage, if I'm Evan Patinko, I'm coming now. If pit stops are not necessary in this stage, if you're good on fuel, well, you made your bed, now lie in it.
They are going to be necessary.
Are we sure? I mean, it's close.
Close? Whew. I would think that these drivers they're gonna need to pit at some point. You can only go about 86, 87 laps on fuel. And we've got, what, a 90 lap stage? Oh,
cool.
Wow, actually, never mind. It might be close.
80 laps is a long time. They can't go 80 laps on fuel.
I hate to break it to you, but looking at my pit stop TV in car, 86 and a half laps is the estimated.
Well, they have an 80% load, so take 80% of that.
Uno momento, por favor. Let me do some math.
Oh boy, the number cruncher is added today apparently. Now these guys have run 30 laps now on this tank, including some caution laps. Hey, yeah, there we go. I didn't think these guys were good because we were looking at like 60-some laps to go at the last restart. These drivers are 10 to 15 laps short, according to Sam in the chat.
He's right.
That's about what I was figuring.
Little bit off the margin. They are about 20 laps short.
But if they've been saving, 10 to 15 makes sense.
It would.
And now some drivers are saying they can make it barely. You know what? They've been in 5th gear this entire run, so that would also save some gas. 4th gear isn't much here at Chicago, but if you're really pushing, you can use it. So these guys clearly are not wanting to use 4th gear right now. They're staying in 5th gear on the racetrack. That makes a lot of sense. Try and save a little bit of fuel, jump out the gas maybe. I think this is going to be a fuel mileage race. I really do. Question is, do you pit if you're unsure? Like if you're super close, do you pit early enough to be able to use tires if you've got them laying in the pit lane? Several drivers definitely do. Sutherland definitely does. I think Houseman does. Hernandez. These guys have got 5 sets in the pit lane. So we've still got a lot of drivers with at least 1 set laying in the pits. Do you want to come get those if you're on the edge of making it on fuel so that you can use those tires? I don't know, because if these guys end up having to pit and you go in, you get tires, you run a bunch of fast laps. I don't know.
What was that thing that Kyle Busch said all those years ago? It don't matter how much you save because there's always going to be a green, white checker.
I just don't know. 25 laps to go this time. At the same time, to counter my own argument, of course, you could just come in for a splash now and get back on the racetrack. The tires will be able to handle it as Buzzio jumps out of the gas and falls into 5th place. We're still watching your race leaders. This is the best battle on the racetrack right now. One more time, I want to thank our partners with the series, of course, the Buttkicker, Ascendance Trucks, Ideal Lease, and Sundance Pizza. And there's a pit stop. Buzzio down to the pit lane. I knew something looked a little bit suspect with him jumping out of line. He must be listening to us. He's going to come in for some kind of service, either fuel only, maybe 2 in fuel, maybe 4 in fuel. Who knows? We're going to find out in just a moment. He is down to the pits and coming in for service in the ideallease.com, number 5 in the Ideal Lease 250. Comes into the pit lane, overshoots his box by just a small margin. What's it going to be? Right side's up. Do we see left sides go on this 5 car? We're going to find out. 1 is crashing into the pit lane, but we're going to go for 2 on the 5 car. The 91 and 71 both crashed into the pits.
Oh, no, that's not what Fuller needed, and that is not what Hernandez wanted to see. He's been caught up in quite a few incidents. I think he really didn't want to see that.
Certainly never want to see incidents coming onto the pits, but do we see some more pit stops maybe? Maddox's have fallen back, Patinko's fallen back. It's just your top 2 right now under a blanket. Now, I do want to check on a graphic we haven't used all night long. The weather conditions, 74 degrees on in the air, 81 on track. I bring this up because the track has gotten awfully shady, so it's going to cool down a little bit here. These guys could get really grippy here at the end. This might help these guys go a little bit longer on tires if they want to come in for just fuel. So far, the call has been largely 2 tires, although we have seen a couple of 4 tires out of Pooler and Hernandez. We're seeing 4 tires out of Bean. We saw 2 out of Patinko. He's down and away. He's going to come up a little ways behind the 5 car. I'm telling you, you want to be the first on and off pit lane today. I really believe you do. Able to use those tires. I don't know that these 2 out front are going to be able to go to the end.
I don't think they will. But, then again, you got to do what everybody else isn't. Plus, they'll have a tire advantage as the race rolls on. It's, unless they don't have tires. Said everybody's got 5 sets.
They definitely do. They definitely do.
Then.
Sutherland has pitted 3 times, Houseman 4 times. They definitely each have at least 1 set laying. Houseman's got at least 1. Sutherland's got at least 2 sets of the pit lane still. And that was 20 to go, 19 this time by. Jared Hughes in the pit lane taking at least 2 tires. Looks like it'll be 2 tires down and away for the 98 car. Ooh, I just heard one car shut it off. Hang on. Was that Dakota Bly? Who was that shutting the car off? Well, I guess we're going to find out here in about 20 laps, aren't we?
We will.
Lap 157 of 175 complete. And everything has calmed down. This is the calm before the storm. This is before everything cycles out. We don't know who's going to finish where yet. We're just watching the top two of the day. Houseman in second, Sutherland in first. The top two drivers of the entire day, all day long. They are still running first and second, nose to tail. Houseman just not able to go anywhere or do anything with the 24 car. And for somebody who's gone up and won 5 races this season, has looked so dominant, he might have some new competition. And while Sutherland won't be able to point into the chase, you never know, Zach. This could just be enough of a thorn in Houseman's side to affect the championship, as Buzzio is going to go by on those 2 tires. That's a big difference that 2 tires is making. Hang on. That is a big difference. Look at him go.
I don't know, Andrew. I don't know how long it's going to last over the long run. We've got about 16 laps to go.
I feel good for Buzzio. Look at him pulling away. He's putting lap time on these guys, and if they do have to pit, he's going to be well ahead of them. Even if they come in and take 4, which would be counterproductive.
24 this time. 24, I believe, just called out this time.
Here comes Houseman as well. They're pitting on the same lap.
They are sticking together. Smart move out of these 2 drivers.
So they got passed up by Buzzio. Buzzio's going to have an advantage. Question is, can these guys run him back down? Buzzio's last lap was a 30.9, only a 10th off his best lap. I don't know, Zach. That's an awful lot of lap time, and if he's still turning decent laps, these guys have got some work to do here once they get back on the racetrack. In for tires. Oh, Sutherland, fuel only, down and away. Houseman's going to take 2 tires. I think he's going to run that 24 car down.
That's an interesting call right there.
I don't like that call at all. You've got sets laying if you're Sutherland. You've got so many sets. You see what 2 tires just did as he blew by you, and the 5 car goes by at least a handful of seconds.
He's anticipating a late race caution. I like that move. It may not work out right now, but it's dependent on a caution. I know.
But he's got 2 sets, Zach.
Set.
He's got 2 sets. He could have used right sides right there and still had 4 in the pit lane.
Never mind. That's a touchy move then right there.
I don't know about that. Unless we got bad information, unless it's 4 sets in the pit lane, we were told 5. I question that, personally. But we're going to find out, as Buzzio has become the top driver on tires and fuel. He's actually coming up to the back end of this line of drivers who it seems have been saving gas this entire time. He passes Johnny Wood Jr., who's been on the racetrack for 45 laps. Brendan Maddox, it seems, has been saving some fuel, as well as William Maddox, Eric Jensen, Stephen Borbell, Richard Wolsifer, and Dakota Bly.
5 change sets in the pit lane for these drivers. 5 change sets.
Yeah, plenty of tires. Plenty of tires to go around. New race leader, though, is the 8 car. Here he comes off of turn number 4. And
how long these drivers stay out and save fuel. Now, these drivers did run a practice race beforehand.
They run a lot of practice races.
They do run a lot of practice races. But the practice race that we're being referred to from race control was they barely made it on fuel with the driver in front running out at the checkered after a 55
Here comes
lap
Maddox.
run.
And yeah, it was about 60 when we went back green. Houseman just went fastest. He's on 2 tires. Wow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, watching at home, take your picks. Make them now. We've got 10 laps to go at the line. Who do you think has a shot to win this race? Do you think Houseman might be able to take it away, steal one from Sutherland, who did not take tires? Or Do you think Buzzio might be able to
Maddox,
hang
no
on to
tires.
it? Oh my goodness.
Both Maddox is down on the way with no tires.
What is happening?
Houseman goes fastest again. Here's Buzzio. Buzzio is going to cycle out to the race lead here once Jensen and Borbell pit. It's a 6-second gap between each of the top three. Jensen's got the lead by 6 seconds. Then it's Borbell 6 seconds back. Then it's Buzzio another 6 seconds back.
Did Patinko take 4 tires?
2.
Okay. Because he has been slowly working at that gap. Never mind, getting held up by lap cars now. Patinko making his way around that 58 car of Dakota Bly.
I think Houseman's going to run him down.
It's fully possible. But he's got to get through as he goes on by Wolsifer. That's going to move Patinko up effectively into the second spot with Houseman still behind. Oh my goodness, Sutherland, it's the call could have been made for 2
Jensen
tires.
coming in. So there is another one falling to pit lane. Borbell now the final car that has been left on the racetrack that has not yet pitted. He is your new race leader. Into the corner, let's ride on board and see just how much he's saving. Clutches in, car is not off.
This man is trying his hardest to save as much fuel as possible. He's about 4 seconds in front of Buzzio. Here's the fight for third, though. Patinko and Houseman. Effectively, this could be the fight for second.
I think it's going to be. I really do. I think this is going to be the fight for second spot. Either way, it's for third for now. Wolsifer falls into 5th. He's yet to pit. Dakota Bly is yet to pit.
6 laps to go. 6 laps.
And I like this for Buzzio. I really do. He is closing in a hurry on Borbell. He's able to just keep running everything. Just keep running the tires off the car. 3.5 seconds is the gap.
He's pulling about 3/10 a lap, we'll say. Because he was at about 9/10 that last time by the line. We are 5 laps to go. He's 3.6, 3.5. So, do the math. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So we'll gain about 1.5 seconds over the next 5 laps. Another 3, that's 1.8. So call it another 1.8 seconds he'll be able to gain at this rate. That's only if Borbell does not run out of fuel. I say I suck at math, and I keep pumping out numbers tonight. Somebody slap me.
Well, 4 laps to go here at Chicagoland. Maybe I don't like this for Buzzio. Only 3 seconds. Well, it's still 3 seconds that he's got to make up. Maybe I don't like this with a 5 car. I don't know. If Borbell can go to the end, even if he slows way down.
Did I just take your strategy and toss it out the window there?
No, he's pitting. He's pitting. There has been a joke circling around the garage here for the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series that this man is always second place. Forever second. That's the hashtag. I think.
The caution comes out.
Don't even say it, Zach. 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. The gap is 1.7 seconds. That's a lot to make up in just 2.5 laps of Chicagoland.
Closing ever so slightly. 2 laps to go as we hit the start-finish line. Buzzio now with a chance to be the bride and not the bridesmaid. 2 laps, popsicle sticks in the air. The drivers that have been dominant all day. Sutherland now in the 8th spot after not taking tires. There you see Borbell coming out of pit road, a full lap down in the 14th position. Houseman 1.3 seconds back. I do not think he's gonna have enough time, Andrew. We're coming around to take the white flag, but 3/10 have been closed.
Oh, and Houseman just knocked the wall down. 1 lap to go. White flag is out of Chicagoland. Brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. It's official now. We are going to the end here on this lap. No matter what happens, no caution can spoil the end of this one. Houseman trying desperately to run the 5 car down, but Adam Buzzio into turn 3 and 4 is about to end the hashtag. He's about to end the jokes. He's about to end it all and go to victory lane. Adam Buzzio is going to win the Idealies 250. Unbelievable.
Congratulatories through the field for Adam Buzzio. Locking up a win here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. I think we can all agree that he's going to burn it down. He is going to give us one heck of a smoke show.
Buttkicker, by the way, 3rd place.
Effectively, unofficially in the BRB chase.
And Buzzio going for the BRB bonus brawl. Did we get an update there, Zach? Did he just win it?
If the math is correct. Uno momento, por favor. If the math is correct, Adam Buzzio also locks in that $160 payday. So call it 2 wins in 1 race for that 5 car. We are getting confirmation on that second win.
It might take a little bit to confirm the BRB bonus brawl points, but Adam Buzzio is finally going to get it done. 11 races in, and he's finally going to park it in victory lane. Let's dial up driver 5. Adam Buzzio finally ends all the hashtags, the jokes. He goes to victory lane. Adam, can you believe yourself?
Of all the tracks to do it at, it's Chicagoland, man. I can't believe it. Typically don't have very good luck here. I've always enjoyed the track, always had speed, but finally was able to put it all together.
You finally get yourself a race win. Who knows? Maybe you get the bonus brawl cash too. But victory lane after all of that. When did you lock in that strategy call?
I locked that in. So I knew a couple people were. Saving. Obviously, I wasn't going to make it. I had committed to, pitting earlier on in the stage. Obviously, I realized I wasn't going to get Isaiah and Mason on speed, so I decided to short pit before everybody else, and try the 2-tire strategy. We had a practice race last night, and I did 2 tires at the end, and it worked out really well for me. I knew how the car, sometimes you take 2 tires, you don't exactly know what to expect from the car, so I knew what to expect going into this. And it worked out, man. I thought Steven was gonna hold on fuel-wise, and I had Mason chasing me down, but I think that short pit gave us just enough time in front of them to hold on.
I said at one point, you want to be the first one on pit lane, and you were the first one on pit lane. It pays off here today and finally gets that monkey off your back. You're well in the chase right now on points. How much of a relief is this, and is this the right time for you to be peaking?
If you want my honest answer, I would have liked to get it a little earlier in the season, but if you're going to pick a time to peak, now is the time. So hopefully we can take this momentum and roll it on forward. It's super cool to get in victory lane with Idealies on the car tonight. It's the Idealies 250 here, so that's just icing on the cake, man.
See Idealies.com on the side of that number 5 Ford Mustang. Congratulations. You finally get it done. Good to talk to you. Only 4 laps led, but you lead the last 4 here at Chicagoland for the Idealies 250. Congratulations. I know we'll be talking to you more this season.
Hey, let's keep him in here for just a second. We're getting confirmation in just a minute on whether or not you locked in on a $160 payday with the BRB bonus brawl. They're working on the points right now, so don't go too far because we might pull you back in here. Might be talking to you again.
Okay, cool. I want to give a couple shout outs too. So I think I got it, but we'll see how it shakes out.
We'll pull you back in if you do win. Go ahead and get those shout outs out.
Real quick, obviously, thank you guys up in the booth for Pit Stop TV. You guys have done such a great job putting out a great product for us, expanding our reach. I could go on and on. I want to thank our sponsors, Buttkicker, Ascended Trucks, Idealies, and Sundance Pizza. Thank my teammates, and thank my wonderful wife, Julie.
There you go, Adam Buzzio from Chicagoland in the Idealese 250. We're waiting on confirmation. We might pull you back in, but for now, we'll go down and grab second place. Congratulations.
Thank you guys so much.
Second place, Mason Houseman. He's headed your way, Zach.
Just falling a little bit too short. Mason Houseman, you definitely had the fast car. You were trying to lead all the laps you could. Walk us through that race, man. How'd that strategy call end up working out for you?
Well, not gonna lie, the first two stages, they were a little rocky. The first stage getting an instant, and then the second stage also getting an instant right across the line. But coming second after all that's pretty good. I think I finished 4th, 7th, and 2nd, and that's like for the 2 stages, and then the finishing order. And then the strategy after, personally, I think I should have gone out one more lap. The tires wore off a little bit too soon, I think, for how fast I was running them. But it's a good thing that Adam won finally. It sucks for me because I love this track, but I'll share the wins with Adam because he deserves it.
Absolutely. Like I was telling Andrew, congratulations all throughout the field. Looks like this is absolutely the let's call it the meme. Everybody liked that, to see Buzzio win this race. But we're talking about you, man. This second place run for you. You definitely had the pace to win this race. Sutherland gave you one heck of a fight for it. I will not deny. Andrew and I were on the edge of our seats. Do you think if it didn't come down to strategy with the tires and it came down to pace alone, maybe even a short run sprint to the flag, do you think you might have been able to have this win?
Isaiah had a lot of short run speed. It was the longer runs that I would get him in, so it would be hard. It'd be hard to tell right now because that's not what happened. But I would love to say that I could have won it, but Isaiah just had the short run speed, and it came down to strategy, and Adam came out on top with it. It was a great call by him, and like you said, everybody loved that or liked that. So I liked it too because I like seeing Adam get his win because he deserves it a lot. He's always up there, so about time for him.
That he does. And even when we are interviewing Mason Houseman, it seems to be all about the other drivers. Gotta love that in a race car driver. And you did a great job tonight, Mason. You brought it home second. You're still the points leader, and you're still looking solid going into the chase with 2 races left. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to shout out Adam. He deserves it so much. He's been fighting for this win. I wanna say thank you for my team. They went through it tonight with me. We all had a rough night, but they stuck all through it. I think we had a good team finish. I want to thank all my friends and family for watching. I love you guys. You guys have watched all my races, and I really appreciate it. The reason why I do this. And I want to say thank you to our sponsors. I want to say thank you to you guys for putting on a great product. You guys are here every week and you put on a great product.
Mason, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on P2.
Yes, thank you.
We'll go down and grab third place this evening. It's going to be Evan Patinko. We're finally talking to Down Low Patinko. Down low at one point as low as 14th spot after you started 18th, which I don't know how the math works there, but regardless, a rocky start at first for you, Evan, but you end up third place. You're talking to us, which is a good place to be when the night's said and done. How did you work the strategy and long run speed to your favor?
Well, I didn't practice it all this week, so tonight I barely even made it into the session in time. I just wanted to take it easy, get a feel for the car, get a feel for what other guys were doing. Needed to capitalize on stage points to bank those against Jamie. And then third stage, I felt comfortable. I didn't know if I was going to try and save fuel like some of the other guys and not make a second pit stop there. But I had to make the choice to kind of short pit it and take 2 tires.
I think the call was a good one. That's what won the race for Adam ahead of you. Third place this evening. Does that feel like a win for you with all the trials and tribulations you've been going through between Icon and BRB lately?
Yeah, missing out on the playoffs and Icon sucked, but you'll have that. It's good to come in here, get a lot of points. I'm either 1 or 2 below Jamie or made it dead even now, so 2 races left. Bristol next week should be a good one.
Per Zach's unofficial count, it looks like
my math correctly.
It looks like you might be 1 above.
I'll take that, even better. So
Andrew's little nickname for you down low, Patinko, but you are currently above the line, Patinko.
Unofficially.
hey, we have to wait for Adam to come out with those tonight. We'll see when it lands when he posts them.
That we will.
Regardless, Evan, it's good to talk to you finally. It's been so long and so many different moments between Icon and BRB now. Congratulations on third place. Hopefully we're talking to you again soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Great job tonight with the broadcast.
Appreciate your time, Evan, and we'll go down and we will re-grab Adam Buzzio here, and he's headed your way, Zach. He is this season's BRB Bonus Brawl winner.
And what a showing. You get 2 for 1 with your win. I mean, the win was coming. It was happening, but did you really think you were going to get 2 for 1 with it?
I wasn't sure. You know, I wasn't really focused on that during the race. I had looked at the points right beforehand, and I knew in my head I was saying I have to beat Brendan. Or I'm sorry, I think it was Brendan or Jared. I might have misspoke. Whoever was behind me going into the bonus brawl, I had to beat them. Let's see, who was it? It was Jared, not Brendan. I just knew I had to. In my head, I had to beat Jared. So I was kind of keeping track of it throughout the race, but I really wasn't sure until, they posted the points, because the way those points work is a lot different than traditional points. So super excited, man. Really can't ask for a better night. You know what I mean? Really, really excited about the whole thing. So.
Well, you definitely made it work in your favor tonight. You were able to grab the win, your first win for BRB, and you topped on a $160 payday. I don't think anybody can complain about that one. Congratulations again.
Seriously, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
And that is Adam Buzzio. He gets a 2 for 1 special at Chicagoland Speedway, Andrew. I mean, who could ask for anything better? The win was coming. We all knew it was going to happen. The bridesmaid is no longer the bridesmaid. He gets to put a ring on that finger, and it's an expensive one at that.
It's hard to get better than that. I mean, $160 can buy you a ring at Walmart if you'd like. I mean, that's a pretty solid day for Adam Buzzio and company. And by the way, I want to touch up on a couple of drivers who saved fuel in that third stage. 2 drivers made it to the end, Dakota Bly and Richard Wolsifer. Now, I don't know that they made it to the end under power, because you see one car there in the camera shot, very slow on the apron. That might have been Wolsifer, but those 2 made it to the end without stopping after the last caution there in stage 3, which is impressive. Tip of the cap to each of those drivers. But Adam Buzzio, Mason Houseman, Evan Patinko working the strategy to their favor. Each of those drivers taking 2 tires and getting back out on the racetrack quickly. I really like that strategy call. Clearly it won Adam the race, got the other 2 the podium. Solid calls all around. Let's go through your full unofficial race results, Zach. Adam Buzzio, Mason Houseman, Evan Patinko, Jared Hughes, Carl Pooler, the top 5. Then you see Dakota Bly, Isaiah Sutherland, Chad Bean, Brendan Maddox, and Richard Wolsifer. What a comeback for Chad Bean. He was down and out at one point. It comes back up to 8th spot, but that's a big black eye on the day for Isaiah Sutherland to lead the most laps and come up 7th, 13 seconds down.
Yeah, the strategy really did not play in Sutherland's favor today. He definitely tried to do everything he could to keep that car in contention, but it sucks to see how that all worked out. Again, Andrew, I agree with you. That call, it did not work out in his favor to take no tires. Chad Bean, Brendan Maddox, and Richard Wolsifer round out the top 10, and then only about another 8 cars on the running order, as there were 19 cars that tried to make it in today. Only 18 made it to the racetrack. Patrick Hernandez, William Maddox, Eric Jensen, Stephen Borbel, Johnny Wood Jr. ends up another lap down at the end. 15th on the night. He was trying to bring himself back into this race, but unfortunately it did not go in his favor. A little bit further the ways back, Dustin Stallings 11 laps down. Jason Bottoms 60 laps down after pancaking the wall with his right side. Jason Bottoms 60 laps, or I just said Jason Bottoms, excuse me. Jamie Plord, the driver who was in the fight with Evan Patinko to stay in this chase, now might be below the cut line. He finishes the night 107 laps down. Didn't even make it 100 laps into this race. Actually, excuse me, he did. No, yes.
No?
There's the math coming back to me. All the numbers I was pumping out tonight, and I messed up one time on the math. But 107 laps down, and then Richard Smith 176 laps down. That's more laps than we turned tonight because he did not make it onto the racetrack to be able to start this race. Fighting connectivity issues, and unfortunately, bit him a little too hard tonight.
One more time, a big thank you to all of our partners with the series. This was the Ideal Lease 250, the ideallease.com, Ford Mustang to Victory Lane, Adam Buzzio. Want to give a big shout out to the Buttkicker, of course. This entire season, this entire series brought to you by the Buttkicker, Ascendance Trucks, Ideal Lease, Sundance Pizza, helping us get to and from the virtual racetrack with the BRB Buttkicker Cup Series, as well as Whiplash SimCams helping us out at Pit Stop TV. Thank you so much to Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, and Cody Williams Design helping us out at the channel. Zach, a look at what's upcoming for us. Next up, it's the Yacht Club Soda Oxford 250. I'm excited for these couple of race nights coming up. We've got qualifying and heat races tomorrow night, August 21st. Then the race, August 22nd. It's a short track week for us at Pit Stop TV. Finally back on track with those super late models. A lot of top drivers are entered in. I'm really looking forward to it, and a lot of great places to watch along.
That it is, pitstoptv.com, and then we've got facebook.com/pitstoptv, and then instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, twitch.tv/pitstoptv1, youtube.com/pitstoptv1, and then x.com/pitstoptv_. Would you believe me if I told you I did that without looking?
I believe it.
I got them memorized at this point.
Once you say it enough times, I believe it. I can just about recite it without looking myself, and yeah, eventually it just gets ingrained in your brain. That's what we're trying to do to you viewers, trying to make sure you know where to find us at Pit Stop TV. Well, thank you for tuning in this evening. It's been a pleasure as always. Make sure to follow along with everything Pit Stop TV on social media, as we mentioned. And Zach, thank you for being here this evening. It was a pleasure. It was a very fun time. What a race we saw, and it's all said and done. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Until then, have a great night.